in my age group. And when I was in high school, I was a four-year varsity letterman, most likely to succeed in class president. In college, I took 33 units in one semester, and I still hold the record at our local community colleges for that. I had to go to 2 different schools to do it, so I'm pretty good at time management. I know it's going to take 40 to 60 hours a week to do this job right, because there's a lot of stuff to read and there's a lot of people to meet and talk to. The good thing about me is if I am elected, I will be able to be gotten a hold of. You can call me up and I will talk to you. I'll even come wash your car. Among some of my accomplishments, well, I was Deputy Grand Marshal of Conejo Valley Days in '93. That was a lot of fun. I've run my small business for about 10 years. I was nominated, or actually I was appointed to the Economic Vitality Committee with the County of Ventura. And I've been a member of both chambers, Westlake and especially the Conejo Valley, for a number of years. And the reason I'm running is because we need reasonable government. And I think I'm pretty reasonable, about as reasonable as you get. We need to support our small business community, and the reason is it's about 38% of our city's entire budget through the 1.1% sales tax revenue that the city gets. And I'm in a small business, and I understand that. And I also understand, being in a small business, that you're the customer, and the customer is always right. And if you have a problem with that, refer to rule number 1. Thank you very much. My name is Lance Winslow. I appreciate your vote.
Thank you. Irv Wasserman.
Good evening. Thanks to League of Women Voters and to all of you out there tonight for the opportunity to speak with you. I'm a candidate for City Council because after a long and successful career with over 35 years of top-level management executive experience, and then consultant to management, and then spending the past 9 years working on a total of 10 different boards and committees for the City of Thousand Oaks, and as a planning commissioner right now for almost 4 years, I decided that what I wanted to see accomplished in our city, I could accomplish best as a member of the council. Guiding the orderly development of the city over the next 4 years as we approach build-out, safeguarding the semi-rural feeling so many of us love so much here, and introducing my own unique style into the council itself in an effort to change positively the unfortunate perception of constant dissension that people have grown so weary of, are urgent and important matters in which I believe I can be of great value as a completely independent council member. Remember the name Wasserman, Irv Wasserman, and if you remember to vote line 9, then I will be your Valentine. Thank you.
Thank you.
Good evening. My name is Chuck Morsa. I'll identify myself first as saying I'm a Christian, and I believe our country and our city needs to get back to the Judeo-Christian ethics, which we don't see in too many families today. My background, we moved here in 1968. We raised 6 children. They graduated from Newbury Park High School. My granddaughter just graduated from Newbury Park High School. I have 10 children. My involvement in the community since 1968 has been working with boys from 8 to 18 in 5 sports. I've been a big brother to 4 boys. I've served on the Big Brothers and Big Sisters of America, Ventura County. I was on the board of directors. I was past president of the Newbury Park Optimist Club twice. I was elected to lieutenant governor of Ventura County for the Optimist Clubs, which took in 10 clubs. I had 28 years of perfect attendance. And about 3 years ago, I gave myself a rest. And a year ago, a friend of mine said, come on and join the Kiwanis Club. Both clubs, their motto was friend of the youth and doing things for kids, and that's been my background. I don't know if that qualifies me or not to be in the city. If I'm on the council, and I've asked some of the other members, would you permit to invite the various ministers and rabbis and any other religious leader to come to the meeting and start the meeting with a prayer? As bad as Congress is, it's still being done. You might call me right-winger. I think we ought to hang drug pushers. I think parents should stay together, pray together, and play together, and keep your kids together. I'm more concerned about family breakups as far as crime. I'm pro-growth. I'm pro-business. There's been too many restrictions on businesses. Tonight's paper, you saw another large company is going to be leaving our area. The fighting and bickering goes on in council. I think it best be resolved by putting new people in. If I win, if I'm one of the electorates, I will serve 4 years and no more. I believe 4 years is plenty for any politician, congressman, whatever. And I'll do the best I can for the majority of the people and not just for a select few who come and complain and gripe.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Marshall Dixon.
Good evening. My name is Marshall Dixon. I'm a husband, a father, a grandparent, and a retired businessman. Although I've been involved most of my adult life in community activities and civic affairs, I have not held an elective office. There's a very simple reason for that. My work hours just prohibited my giving that office the time it would deserve. Instead, I serve the democratic process by chairing committees to screen and evaluate and select candidates for local offices. And in so doing, I ensured that we would have quality people in key spots in our local government. The major consideration in my decision to run for the city council was the fact that now I'm retired, so I can give the full focus of my attention to the duties of being a council member. Considering the complexity of issues that are going to be facing us in these coming years, you deserve no less. This is a special city. During the build-out phase of our growth, that thought is going to be uppermost in my mind. We must protect open space and certainly our beautiful ridgelines. At the same time, we must accommodate the growth that our general plan allows. To accomplish this, we must do it with reason and understanding, not with stonewalling, intimidation, or lawsuits. Additionally, attention has to be given to the intrusion of modern-day crime into our daily lives. We must find a way to fund for additional police protection in the central area of our city. We must also seek to expand our tax base by aggressively pursuing to acquire new and compatible businesses for our community before we start seeking revenues by dipping into the taxpayer's pocket. I'm a problem solver. I always have been, and I always will be. And I think that's exactly what we need on the Thousand Oaks City Council. I would welcome and appreciate your support in November. Thank you.
Thank you. David Hare.
Good evening. I'm David Hare. I'm currently a city operations manager for a local city or a neighboring city. It's already my job to make government more efficient. I've saved taxpayers over $2 million just by incorporating simple business practices into government operations. Like you, I moved to Thousand Oaks for the clean air, the open space, a family atmosphere. But the quality of life that brought us to Thousand Oaks is being threatened. We need a new breed of leader. We need a leader that can move City Hall from the role of regulator to the role of educator. We can have growth and we can have open space. We can have a stronger business community and we can have clean air. But it takes us all working together. It takes the community to back the city council to become one with the business community, and the developers to realize that when they do business in Thousand Oaks, they're becoming a part of our community. On November 8th, we all need to take a good long look at who the next few leaders are that are going to lead us into the future. If you think Thousand Oaks should become the next San Fernando Valley, then frankly, you might not be interested in David Hare. But if you think Thousand Oaks is a unique community and that we must protect the values that brought us here, then you should give David Hare a good long look. Thank you.
Bill Williams.
Good evening. I'm Bill Williams. I wanted to give you a little of my background. Some of you I know, some I don't. I'm a 16-year resident of the Conejo Valley. I am an alumni of San Diego City College, San Diego State College, and Western State University College of Law. I am a veteran of the U.S. Air Force. I'm currently a mortgage banker in this area and have been for 12 years. I'm a member of the Elks Lodge. Previously, before I became a mortgage banker, I spent 20 years in the hospitality industry in positions ranging from busboy to chairman and chief executive officer of a large restaurant corporation. I am the past president of the San Mateo Downtown Businessmen's Association and also the past president of the Mendocino Businessmen's Association. I've had many years working with budgets, cost, and profit expectations. I used to be called in by the bankruptcy courts to go into businesses and cut their costs, maximize profits, and so that they could sell them for the best value possible. Running a city is very similar to running a large business, and I feel that with my experience and background in the business sector, running large companies, that I can serve you well as a council member in Thousand Oaks. The main reason I decided to run is there are a lot of problems in this city. Some of my worthy opponents mentioned business and crime and the environment. There's a lot more issues than that. We need to take care of our seniors. We need better transportation systems. We need rent control on apartments and mobile homes. So if you really want to get this town taken care of and get it back to what it used to be, please remember on November 8th, my name is Bill Williams.
Thank
Thank you.
Michael Friedman.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Michael Friedman, and I'd like to thank the Chamber of Commerce and the League of Women's Voters for inviting me here tonight. But most of all, I'd like to thank you, the voter of Thousand Oaks, to take your time out of your day and come down to listen to us. I sincerely hope that you'll listen to all the remarks of the candidates and based on what you hear, make a balanced and informed decision. I can talk about crime, I can talk about ridge lines and keeping our semi-rural feeling. All 16 of us are concerned about that, but the issues that we've been talking about behind the scenes have really been Alois Zena and how she's been trying to find a way to circumvent and dominate politics in this city. No city council person has ever tried to form a political machine before, and what is Miss Zena trying to do? Zena always supports unknowns, and if elected, they're beholden to her. An example is Councilwoman Zukowski. If she doesn't work with city staff, and she has not supported her own current commissioner and a past one too, I've come to conclusions that Alois burns her bridges. I've grown up in this town, and I want to come back to kindness, and for the people to resolve issues peacefully. I miss the days that when that happened. I've learned that negativity doesn't work, and let's get back to what really works. Ladies and gentlemen, it's up to you to choose 3 people, 3 independent thinkers that can work with city staff and each other and the community. The anger and hostility of the past hasn't worked, and the people who have promoted it have failed to get their agenda accomplished. It's time to change our approach. Let's get back to the kindness. If there are candidates who thrive on innuendo and fear, don't check their boxes. Check the boxes of people who will listen to everyone, work together, and make a difference. I'm listening, and I want to make a difference.
Thank you. Mike Markey.
Thank you. My name is Mike Markey, and I'm a police detective. I have 17 years of law enforcement and municipal government experience. My wife and I live in Newbury Park with our 3 sons, and my background, just to tip on a little bit, I attended Pepperdine University and studied public administration. I've sat on general plan committees, traffic committees. I'm presently on the Thousand Oaks Social Services Committee, and I've worked on Conejo Valley Days. Why am I running for this position? Well, I'm a public servant. I moved to this community in '88, and I ran for school board as soon as I got here. And my kids weren't in the school district, but coming from an LA County agency, I saw some of the problems that are going to come to this community. I also ran for city council in 1990 because I saw some issues that were coming up here, some of that crime. And you're going to hear a lot of candidates speak about those issues. What we need to find, though, when you ask me questions, the other candidates, is what are your resolutions to these issues? Because that's what we need. And that's why I'm running. With my occupation, that's part of my job, is to take an issue, find a resolution, listen to both sides, and make an informed decision. I have to do that because I put some people in jail sometimes, so I have to make the right decisions. That's imperative on the council, though, because you have to listen to all the facts. We also have to understand that Thousand Oaks is basically a non-tax city. And what do I mean by that? Well, I work in the city of Compton, which is the highest tax city in the state of California. Lighting assessment, utility taxes. 40% of our budget is increment tax dollar, and we need to learn how to recycle our tax dollars by taking our government dollars, recycling them back into the community, and then spending them back into our government. And that will keep our jobs going, our tax dollars going, and keep this a very viable city. I moved here because of the way Thousand Oaks is. I'm a person who wants to maintain it. I see that for the next 5 to 10 years, and I hope you'll support me, and thank you for being here.
Greg Cole.
Good evening. I'm Greg Cole, and I'm running for Thousand Oaks City Council. I would like to take this opportunity to thank the League of Women Voters and the Conejo Valley Chamber of Commerce for sponsoring this forum this evening, and to thank all of you in the audience, both on TV and here in the Forum Theater, for coming out for a better Thousand Oaks. Thousand Oaks is truly a wonderful place to live. That's why my wife Alice and I moved here over 15 years ago. Through those years, Alice and I were blessed with 4 lovely children, Anna, 15, Allison, 13, who is in the forum this evening with my wife, Ashley, who is 10, and my son Greg, who is 8 and is almost 9. And I'd be remiss to say he's a terrific safety and running back in flag football this year. I've been very fortunate in this community to build a successful dental practice in Newbury Park, while my wife Alice touches the lives of our youth by being a Conejo Valley Unified School teacher at Manzanita School in Newbury Park. Now I want to do more, and that's why I'm running for the Thousand Oaks City Council. For the last 5 years, I've dedicated my life by being your elected representative to the Ventura County Community College District Board of Trustees. And through volunteerism, I have volunteered my time with many other civic organizations, including the Thousand Oaks Kiwanis Club, the Conejo Valley YMCA, the Conejo Valley Little League, in which my team this last year was 19-1, and St. Pascal's Church. With regards to politics and government, I have served on 7 different City of Thousand Oaks committees, including Traffic and the General Plan Review Committee. And I was appointed by the former mayor of Thousand Oaks, Larry Horner, to the City of Thousand Oaks Planning Commission, where I served for 3 years. I was the chairman of the Planning Commission of the City of Thousand Oaks in 1989. Now I wish to continue my service to the City of Thousand Oaks. I want to bring about positive results for our city, and I'd be very honored to have your support and your vote this November. Thank you.
Candidate Ali Asari was not able to be here, so he is not here to give any of his position. I'd like to mention that the next thing that's going to happen is we prepared questions which were mailed out to the candidates ahead of time. They drew a question, and they will now each have 1.5 minutes to answer the question which they drew. We will again do this in the beginning order, starting with Lee Laxdahl, and I'll read your question so it doesn't take up part of your 1.5 minutes. List the 3 issues in order of importance which compel you to run for the City Council.
Thank you. Well, it's clear that I didn't plan to do this. In fact, in January, I threw out 300 buttons that said, vote for Lee Laxdahl. My committee often reminds me of that. The 3 things that ultimately made me do it were the council division. I couldn't watch the meetings without pacing the room, and my wife soon didn't want me doing that. Crime and the development. It looked to me like we were not taking the proper steps to cap the city off in the way that we ought to. We were getting more lenient, perhaps, than... In the area of crime, it's a tricky issue. Your first impulse is to answer it by just throwing police at it. And then you begin to think you need to do more than that, and you start to bring volunteers in, and that helps. But I've got my proposal to bring together the school district, the park district, the city, volunteers, representatives of sports organizations, into a joint powers authority, where we can actually have a board you can come up to like the city council, where they all have to be there. Well, let us work on this problem. This city should not, will not, and cannot, if I'm around, settle for gangs being in the city. We need to get the schools to work with us on a board like this on the problem, and then we can solve it. But we all have to be together on this one. We currently own the streets. We need to continue to use the streets, but we've got to be together. We've got to be together. Thank you.
The question for Judy Lazar. What county-wide issues impact the City of Thousand Oaks, and how will you deal with them?
There are several issues that impact the city and the county. As an Air Pollution Control Board member, I have supported VCITA's alternative to the EPA's federal implementation plan. Lots of words, lots of letters, but a real disaster looming for the business. In this case, VCITA, local businesses, county-wide businesses have worked together to develop an alternative which can meet air quality standards and still preserve and protect businesses in our city and in the county. There are other issues that are coming up that we will have to watch very carefully. The potential base closures could have a disastrous impact on the county, but also on the city of Thousand Oaks as well. There's the potential for a commercial airport. Is it viable? Is it reasonable? And how will it impact us in the city of Thousand Oaks? We've got to be vigilant. Ventura County Economic Vitality Commission, on which I sit, is currently considering a number of proposals for an economic alliance. But the major issue of concern for both the city and the county will be the potential for further pickpocketing by Sacramento. Face it, it's coming. For the past 4 years, the legislature has tried to balance the state budget on the backs of cities and counties, and particularly those cities and counties that are relatively well off because they're run efficiently. We're one of them. We must be vigilant, and we must be careful. I've done it before. I'll do it again.
Next for Loisina. Did you get question number 3? Okay. What unique qualifications do you feel that you have that would make you an effective council member?
How often can an incumbent say, when their term expires, that they did exactly what they promised to do when elected? I think this qualifies as a unique qualification. I have extensive professional, government, and business experience, a 20-year career before moving to the city of Thousand Oaks. My work at high levels of government and business has given me insight into how and why decisions are made and how it is so easy for regulators to become co-opted. This experience has helped me remain objective and independent. I am at no risk of being co-opted. Another qualification is that I was a citizen advocate for many years before joining the City Council. I have experienced firsthand the problems of citizens trying to deal with their government. Another unique qualification is my research and analytical skills. These have helped me bring about creative solutions to problems. Without these, many of my initiatives, such as the overcrowding ordinance to protect single-family neighborhoods, the business roundtable to give small business a real voice in City Hall, and the crime symposium, which developed an action plan to combat crime, teen violence, and gangs, would have not been successful. Thank you.
Next, Iqbal Quidwai also selected the same question. What unique qualifications do you feel that you have that would make you an effective council member?
You can call me Nick if you have trouble with the name. That's
Well,
fine
that's okay.
with me.
I'll do it.
I have 3 degrees. One is an AA in liberal arts. I have a bachelor's in biochemistry, and I have a bachelor's in business management from California State University at Fullerton. I have the unique distinction of having had my own business, being involved in business all my life, but at the same time involved in city government as a layperson trying to help. I would like to read some of what other people have said about me. Amgen wrote to me on May 12th. Their director of logistics, Mr. Bergstrom, said, "Thank you, Mr. Quidwai, for your participation in the Planning Commission meeting on February 14th and the City Council meeting on March 1. We are pleased that you were able to show your support. I would like to draw your attention that there were 200 people at the council meeting, but I was the lone person that chastised the Planning Commission for the roasting of Amgen." Grant Brimhall wrote to me, he's the city manager, December 21st, 93. Again, Iqbal, thank you for spending the obviously significant amount of time that you do to help our city function better in the interest of all citizens. I have letters from both Bielenson and Siebert thanking me for my involvement. And I have these things out on the counter in the front for you to read. I hope you will pick them up. Those people who are not here, I hope they will try to read the issues so that we can make a difference. The reason I am trying to serve the community is because of the people that have constantly been telling me it's about time that you ran, Iqbal.
Thank you. For Jeanette Scoville, what management steps would you take to solve the issues resulting from limited city revenues?
In my recent meeting with the department heads here at the city, I discovered that the cost of providing the services that we enjoy today is increasing at about $1 million a year. It means that there's going to be some very difficult choices that need to be made by local residents, and there has been a call by staff to bring local residents in to work on this taxing problem. All the issues that you have, all the services you would like to see provided are reliant upon dollars. And of course, I mentioned earlier that I've been out seeking these dollars through grants and working with various departments. Also, I think that a very strong working relationship between our council and our city staff is essential. I spent so much time last year working on our environmental business symposium that they gave me an office at City Hall. And so it's been my pleasure to work intimately with our staff, and I've worked with many, many departments. I've worked on areas of transportation and planning and public works and water. So I think a working relationship is also very important. I believe that stimulating our business community is going to be vital as we move from the dependency that we have had upon dollars that have come through development. And so I have a very strong push towards the business community, and even as a nonprofit have been a member of our chamber and have worked closely with them. So dollars are the issues in providing the services that you all want.
Andy Fox, list the 3 issues in order of importance which compel you to run for the City Council.
Well, first and foremost, my highest priority as your council member will be to ensure that your public safety is maintained, specifically crime. Second, I think we need to address our growth to ensure that we don't become overdeveloped. And third, certainly, is our council decorum. I think my time on the Planning Commission well documents and demonstrates my ability to vote on the issues to ensure that we have the proper development as well as protect our open space. I'm proud to say that as a Planning Commissioner, I had a 100% voting record for public open space and was congratulated by both incumbents as well as my fellow Planning Commissioners in my ability to conduct city meetings. Tonight, I'd like to concentrate on the main issue, and that's crime. Crime affects all of us. It affects our neighborhoods, our schools, our business community, the entire city. It's widespread. And the fact is, the city is not as safe as it was 4 years ago. My first and highest priority will be to ensure that we have the safest community possible. That will include keeping the appropriate amount of police officers on staff, and yes, that will take tough political decisions. I do have specific programs to help fight crime. One would be to draft a very tough graffiti law. The city of Culver City just drafted a law that made it a $50,000 fine, a suspension of your driver's license, and possible jail time for graffiti. Should be no room for defacing other people's property. The city needs to draft and enforce a tougher curfew law. If we have some gangbangers that are hanging around the city with no place to go, the police need to pick them up and take them home.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Lance Winslow, what management steps would you take to solve the issues resulting from limited city revenues?